Hi there and welcome back, friends of a thoughtful gaming experience. This is your host, Immanuel Can, and we're going to proceed with our Let's Play and Explore Torment, Tides of Numenera, in the Patch 1 edition, first patch. In the last episode we talked to Snurf, we're in the Order of Truth by the way, a strange research compound of the best minds in Sagus Cliffs, I think. And yeah, Snurf is an alien that does research on the sexual reproduction of all races. Well, now let's see if we can talk to someone else, maybe contributing to the story, but maybe Snurf is too, and we don't know it. Maybe he isn't a joke. So, but now let's talk to this guy going up and down here, Lan U-Ring. Oh, this time we'll probably mostly be exploring the Order of Truth and the quests there, and yeah, this is our prime quest here for now. After that we will go for the main quest, continue the main quest. We have a race with Quarro there to open something in the reef, and yeah, that's the next steps. But now to Lan U-Ring. The thin young man smiles hesitantly as you approach. You notice a small metallic ovoid protruding from his skull, nearly hidden by his disheveled hair. The fingers on his left hand tap nervously on his leg as he speaks. "I'm not a real priest yet," he blurts, then blushes, if that's what you were thinking. "Usually visitors only talk to me because they think I'm a priest, but I'm still a novice." He plucks at a threadbare spot on his robes. "What is that implant on your forehead?" "It's not just on my forehead," he says. "Not just the skin, I mean. It's bonded with my skull." He blinks at you a few times before he realizes he hasn't answered your question. "Keeps me awake and alert. I don't get tired until it runs out of power." Do you know what powers it?" "Dreams," he says. "The scarier ones, the better." Who wouldn't want such a device, huh? Where your nightmares keep you awake even when you're awake, not only when you sleep. Scan the thoughts. I can't remember the last time I had a good dream, actually. I'm sure it's just coincidence, though. Maybe you should talk about that again. "Keeps me awake so I can study longer," he says shyly. "And what's your area of study?" "What?" he says, blinking, straightening. "You want to know what I'm working on, are you sure?" Yeah, I think he needs sleep. Why, is it particularly complicated?" "I don't think so," he says, looking down, "but people usually get impatient or angry, or they laugh." He looks back up. "But I'll tell you, if you really want to know." "Yeah, I do." "I'm designing an intelligence," he says. "But not the normal kind, not just metal or with a dependent intelligence rigging system. No, it's larger than that. Stronger." Lan himself seems to be getting stronger, rising as he speaks. You hadn't noticed before, but he's actually taller than you. "The idea is this, an intelligence that can find, test, identify and fully understand Numenera. We can unlock the secrets of lost civilizations." His eyes are gleaming low and he raises a trembling fist. "Do you understand? If we do this, we can break the chains binding us to the past and turn them into reins with which to steer the future." Well, as an intellectual, we think this is a good method. But we're more interested in the specifics. Can't help noticing that your plan is long on rhetoric and short on specifics. I have a plan, he says defensively, dropping his righteous fist, but it will take more time and money. Fervent gleam slowly fades from his eyes. It's only a theory, though, for now. I don't have the funding, not yet, but I've been studying machines with Min when he can spare the time, and he likes my ideas, even if he thinks they're impossible. He looks away. I think he's disappointed. I'm not a real Aeon priest yet. Scan thoughts. I should have the money by now. I was told they'd keep paying me even after the first time. So he is the spy, probably. Don't you want to be one? Oh yes, he breathes, that would change everything. Only full Aeon priests have access to the Order's funds. I can use them to build a full prototype. A Min might protest, but he'll understand once I get the design right. He licks his lips, they're dry, almost leathery. I just need to get it right, that's all. So maybe someone is keeping him as an apprentice to get the info. From him as a spy, so what do you need to become an Aeon priest? You have to make a major discovery, he says, a mystery that's remained unsolved for a long time. But I've spent too much time on my own research. He looks down at his feet. I haven't gotten anywhere. We are interested in his project, so let's just tell him something I've discovered. You can claim it as your own and become an Aeon priest. You will, he says, blood draining from his face. Is that allowed? Well, you're devoted to research. Look at this as an interested colleague supporting your studies. Flushes so deeply that it's a wonder his clothes don't burst into flame, and we really like his AI. Thank you, he whispers. I'm ready. What discoveries have you made? What sort of discoveries will help you? Really major ones, he says, looking frustrated. The causes of long-standing problems in the city, for example, or solving a mystery that's remained unexplained for a long, long time. Well, when I find something useful, I'll let you know. Oh, he says, all right. Goodbye. Well, that's surely interesting. Is there something we can use here of his... Oh no, he said it's only a theory, right? So let's talk to this guy he helped. Min of Tan Liang. Probably one of the bosses here. This priest is tall, thin and dressed only in black. Narrow slishes of oil decorate his unlined skin like letters in an unknown tongue. His eyes are harried but alive with intelligent humor. They land on you with a tiny flicker of recognition. Then his gaze moves from you to your companion. Hello, Calistique, here to work or just visit? Scan thoughts. And with the husk, I hope this isn't a long-term visit. I'm simply passing through, Min darling. Calistique says, don't bother setting an extra place for me at the dinner table. With the same slight smile, Min turns his full attention to you. Good, good. He thinks something about her I've always found unnerving. I recognize you, he says. It's been 10 years? I don't think we ever spoke. You were the one visiting Salimari all the time, right? Working on some sort of organic machine technology. We won't lie to him. That's not our style. You're mistaken. I've never been here before. Oh, he says, frowning still. His eyes linger on you, trying to remember where he's seen you before. What brings you to the Order of Truth? Scan thoughts, it's certainly her. Am I wrong? Or is there more going on than I'm aware of? Salimeri told me there's a Memovira spy in the Order of Truth. We think so, he says with an irritated glance at Salimeri, but not because we've seen people in dark cloaks creeping around. He lowers his voice, but not enough that the anger buried in it is completely hidden. We've lost dig sites to her thugs. Maybe people too. We can't be sure because we never find any traces of them. He rubs his forehead with a stained hand. We'll catch the spy, only a matter of time. Can you tell me about your work? Ha, he says, shaking his head. That's a big question. Even on the best days I specialize in mechanical Numenera, intelligent or not, but I haven't had much time for research since I started managing our branch of the Order. Can I ask you some questions about mechanical Numenera? There seems to be something important. Yes? I would be incredibly grateful if you did, he says. Every other conversation I have revolves around how I'm ruining the Order, or not doing enough to save the Order. He rubs his forehead with the back of his calloused hand. Please, ask me about wires and blinking lights. Tell me about that machine behind you. It has so beautiful blinking lights. It makes levies, the guardians of Sagas. Rubs his chin. Our records say that Divitiaku found a similar device in the ruins of Arco Lopalilazia, far to the north. He convinced the city that a local version, a modified one, would be of use. In order to become a citizen, everyone in Sagas Cliffs, even the ones born here, gives a year of their lives to the machine. It uses that borrowed time to create a levy. And what if someone only has 1 year to live? Would they die the second they entered the machine? No, he frowns, they never die in the machine, but it catches up with them a few days later. That doesn't happen very often. Sometimes I think the machine actually saves them, prevents them from meeting whatever fate was in store, but not always. At any rate, the levies created by the machine are nearly identical. They only last a year. After that they quietly return to the machine and dissolve into... His hands grip the air, trying to frame the words. Grey gunk. It's incredibly unpleasant to watch, but they don't seem to mind. Well, I met a levy that was losing its mind, Finzin's levy. It believed it had gotten a bad year from its creator. That's incredible, he breathes, then catches himself. And bad, very bad. I'll take a look at the machine before the next citizen comes in. Scan thoughts. I wish I could say that's the first time this has happened. Anyway, that's the machine. Any other questions? I've met a levy that's losing its mind. It wants to take a better year from its creator. It what? Min says. That's horrible. His gaze drifts to the air, and very, very fascinating. I could build something based on our machine that would trade a year of the citizen's life, assuming you were willing to pay 125 for parts. He glances at you sharply, and the citizen was willing, of course. Alternately, if you want to spare the shins and the day it would take me to make it, you could try building it yourself, he says, nodding his head at the table near the machine loaded with parts. If you feel like a challenge, well, we are intellectuals, so we'll try that. I'd make it for free if I could, but no. The order needs me and the money. I'll try building the device myself. That's the spirit, he says. Not that we couldn't use the money, mind you, but we're not about getting rich here after all.